Okairi, welcome back to my channel, Made Between the Pages. My name is Taylor, and today we're going to be doing my June TBR. It's absolutely fucking bonkers that it is June already. Like, I'm not ready for this. I'm not really sure when this happened, but here we are. So let's see what books I'm gonna read in the 6th month of this year. We've got some repeat offenders and rollovers this month, as well as some new reads, but all of them I'm really excited to get to because I've just been in a big reading mood lately. I do have to balance a lot with my studying currently because I have a big test coming up next month, big Japanese test that I kind of need to prioritize that. So we'll see how much I actually read this month, but I'm very much in a reading mood, so I'm going to do as much as I can. The first two here have basically become a set together because they're reoccurring every month, and I make extremely glacial progress through these, and that is Moby Dick and William Faulkner. Wait a minute, I just said the title and then an author. Moby Dick by Herman Melville, and then Short Collected Stories by William Faulkner. Both of these are books that I pulled from my physical TBR jar in the 1st or 2nd month of this year, and I'm reading them in slow chunks every month. I don't always get to them every month, but I do plan to finish them. My new goal for these is basically to finish them by the end of the year. My initial goal was to read them every month, but that's just not how things have played out. But these will be read by the end of the year. I'm speaking it into existence. It's happening. So this month I have to read another section. As you can see, I have tabbed sections of this book that I read together. So I read 3 sections at a time of this one, and then this is separated into 5 sections, and I will read 1 section at a time. So this month, have not made progress. Not surprised that I didn't make progress last month. So I'll be reading the first section of this, and I will be reading the, I think it's 2nd and 3rd sets, so 6 sections altogether of Moby Dick. This next one is another repeat offender, thus I kind of just want to put it in the beginning of this video, and that is The Helm of Midnight. This I pulled out as a physical read last month from my TBR jar, but it was on a couple TBRs before that as something I just want to pick up. Every time I film with this book, the fingerprints on this matte black cover drive me absolutely up the wall. If anyone knows how to clean this type of cover to make it so that my dirty ass fingerprints aren't all over it, let me know. But this, I say every month this is a priority for me, and I'm not lying every month. I just haven't been able to get to it. I also don't have an audiobook available for me from my library or from my subscriptions for this, so it has to be physical. So I'm going to prioritize this as a physical read for me this month, for sure. For those of you who don't know what this is about, even though I've kind of explained it in the last couple times I've brought it up, this is about a helm that is imbued with the spirit of a serial killer. And one day the serial killer escapes from this helm, or the spirit of the serial killer escapes and begins to wreak havoc. And from what I know, we follow people as they try to, or we follow people tasked with getting this spirit back in the helm where it belongs. And it just sounds like a perfect mix of fantasy and like kind of whodunit, mystery, you know, feels to it that I enjoyed both of those genres. So I'm really excited to see both of them together. This next book was actually the 2nd pull last month from my physical TBR jar, and I feel like those pulls have become something I look at in the month that I pull it out, and then I read it in the next month. Like it just becomes a priority part of my TBR. But that is Sapiens, a graphic history. So I pulled this last month, as I just mentioned, and I did not get to it, but it is something I'm very excited to get to because I have read Sapiens, like the normal version of it, and this is the graphic version of it, and I am very excited to get to this. I have no excuse as to why I haven't picked it up. I just did not have time. So this is from last month, and it's being rolled over to this month as a priority read along with The Helm of Midnight. Wait, my whole life is a lie. The Helm of Midnight was pulled 2 months ago, I think. And then this book, Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson, was pulled last month, I believe. So basically, I have 3 backup books from that challenge on my channel. But Dance of Thieves is a book set in the same world as The Remnant Chronicles, which is a trilogy that I really, really love. And so this follows a different set of characters, but it's in the same world. And I bought this ages ago, honestly, and I just never picked it up after I bought it, to be honest. And I don't know why. So I am excited to get to this. I think it's going to be a really fast read because I was able to blow through and binge The Remnant Chronicles. And I feel like if her writing is the same here, I'm also going to be able to do that. So this one is one that I could definitely get through this month. The next book on my list is the fifth book in the Lady Trent series, In the Sanctuary of Wings. And this is the last book in this series that I've been reading as part of a readathon hosted by T-Books Magic and a couple other booktubers. And we've been reading one book every month this year since February. And basically I've had to control myself not to binge them all one after the other because I have adored reading this series. The Memoirs of Lady Trent series follows Lady Trent, surprisingly, as she goes through her life in the pursuit of knowledge and the study of dragons. In the first book, we follow Lady Trent when she's young as she discovers this love and this passion that she has for the study and natural history of dragons. But when she's alive, the time period when she's alive, this is considered something very not ladylike and not something that she should be pursuing. So the first book follows her as she kind of enters into this world and tries to navigate the world of science as someone who's not really welcome in that space. And then each successive book really expands the world and shows different parts of the world, different breeds of dragons, and her growth as a character as well. And these books really touch on a lot of themes I didn't expect them to. As I mentioned every time I talk about these books, some of the main ones are motherhood, colonialism, discrimination, in academia. There's a lot of different things that really become part of the story as we move through each book. And so I'm very excited to get to the last book. It has been a 5-star series for me, which is very, very rare. The only one that I can see directly behind me that is a full 5-star series would be the Greenbone Saga and probably Six of Crows here, the duology here. But it's, you know, a duology is only 2 books, whereas Greenbone Saga is a trilogy, so it's 3 5-stars. And this would be a total of 5 5-stars if In the Sanctuary of Wings works for me. So I'm very excited to get to this one this month. The next book is the only good book club pick for this month, and that is The Stars and the Blackness Between Them. So this book is one that I've seen kind of floating around. I think it was popular a couple years ago, but I'm not a huge contemporary person. But one of the things I really love about the Only Good Book Club is that we really focus on reading different types of books, different genres of books, different authors. So the fact that this isn't a book I would have picked up on my own makes me kind of more excited to read it because I've really found some hidden gems through reading outside of my wheelhouse. This book is about 2 young Black girls who come from very separate pasts, very different life experiences, and they end up falling in love with each other. And if I understood correctly from the blurb, it sounds like one of them gets sick or some kind of tragedy strikes, and it's just an in-depth character study about 2 young women in love and how to overcome obstacles that may come your way. The next 3 books are part of the SPFBO competition. Not only am I lucky enough to now be part of the Before We Go blog team run by Beth Tabler, I'll be sure to link it down below. Before We Go blog is a SFF review website, and they just do amazing work, and I'm so happy and proud to be part of this team now. So you can look for my reviews over there going forward. But not only am I part of that team, but I'm also so proud to announce that I am part of the SPFBO judge team from Before We Go blog. I have watched or been aware of SPFBO for a couple years from afar, and I've always been interested in being involved in the process, but I just didn't really know how to become part of that. And when I had the chance here, I definitely jumped at it. So I'm very excited to say that I will be part of the team of judges, and I will be reading 3 books. I think our team is splitting it into 3 to start. So I'll be reading 3 books and deciding whether they make the cut or not. I will be doing a review or a little blurb about each book, whether I decide that they should move on or not, or we decide as a team that they should move on or not. So you can go over to the blog to check out those reviews when they do come up. But I will be reading at least 3 of the books that we have been assigned this month. I cannot wait because I've discovered so much joy and just fulfillment in getting involved in the self-pub world in the last year or 2. And there are people that I just adore that are part of this community, and I cannot wait to, just actually be part of, the process. I can't really use the correct words to describe my excitement, but I am over the moon to be part of this. Before we pull my physical TBR jar books, I would like to finish with 2 books that are anticipated releases that are coming out in June. Now, both of them are towards the latter half of June when they're going to come out, so I'm not sure if I'm going to get to them this month, but I want to mention them either way because they're both priorities for me when they do come out. And the first one is going to be Speaking Bones by Ken Liu. Guys. I cannot wait for this book. I cannot wait. I am on pins and needles, eggshells, whatever imagery you want to bring up for this book to be released. Now, I did get the broken binding set of the first 3 books in the series, and unfortunately, due to shipping, they went to my American house, so I do not have those beautiful books to display behind me, but I was able to also get the 4th one when it came out from the broken binding to add to that set, but it has met with the same fate. So while I have the book, I don't have the book. So I need to get my hands on it in another way in order to actually read it, which is mind-blowingly frustrating. I should have just paid the shipping to get the 4th book to me and just displayed that on its own so that I could read it when it comes out. But I am so excited for this book. The Dandelion Dynasty is one of my favorite series of all time. I'm obsessed with it. And I am simultaneously excited and absolutely terrified for what Speaking Bones is going to do to me because I don't know how much my heart can take. But I also don't trust Ken Liu to treat me with care, to treat my heart with care, so I don't know. But this is tippy top priority when it comes out, and I believe the release date is you know what, I'm not even going to try to remember the date. I'll put it on the screen. The release date is in the latter half of June. And the second book I want to mention here is Locklands, which is the 3rd book in the Foundry Side trilogy. Let me just pull this out here I have behind me. So the first book is Foundry Side and the second book is Shorefall. Both of these are by Robert Jackson Bennett, and it's been several years since Shorefall came out. Foundry Side was one of my new all-time favorites when I read it, and I still really love this from the bottom of my heart. Shorefall was really good, but it didn't quite meet the level of Foundry Side, but I'm still really excited to see what he does with the themes and things introduced here, so still very excited to read the book. Who knows, it could have a 5-star conclusion to it. It doesn't hurt that these books are gorgeous. The not matching finish drives me absolutely insane, but this has the fingerprint issue that Helm of Midnight has, and this one doesn't, so I don't really know where I'm going with this, but I wish they matched, is kind of what I'm trying to say. Either way, I'm really excited to get my hands on Locklands. I might have to do kind of like a flip through of this book to kind of remember the fine details. I definitely remember the larger plot beats, but I think I'm going to have to read through it again just so I'm caught up when I do pick up the 3rd book. Alrighty, now let's go ahead and... Oh! Wow! Okay, let's go ahead and do the last 2 books on my TBR every month, which is from my physical TBR jar. Let's go ahead and take the top off here and see what we get, and see if we actually get to it this month or we push it back to next month, which has been the pattern, but let's see. All right, we've got 1, 2. Okay, it looks like our first one is... Oh, yes, I'm so excited. Yes! Oh, yes! Okay. Let me get myself together. The book that I pulled was The Hunger of the Gods by Gwynne. Yeah. All right, hold on. Let me get that from my shelves. This is the sequel to The Shadow of the Gods, which is the first Gwynne book I ever read, and I loved it. I loved everything about it. I'm obsessed. Yes. So this is the sequel to it. The cover art is just as stunning, and I have full 5-star prediction vibes from this book. It looks like a bit of a chonker, but I think I remember when I looked at the page count, it was only like 600-ish pages, which is not what this looks like. It looks bigger than that. So yeah, I'm very excited to get to this book. Oh, yes, the TBR gods have blessed me. All right, and the second book is... what? Shadow of the Gods by Gwynne. How is this? I've already read this. I didn't take this out. Okay, first off, I didn't take this out of the jar after I read it. And second off, I pulled it at the same moment as The Hunger of the Gods. That is weird. Okay, all right. I'm gonna pull another book because that's a lot of coincidences at once. Okay, let's see what we pull again, because that was strange. All right, I have pulled... yes! Ah! The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. Yes! This is one that I thought about mood reading it this month anyway, so the fact that I just pulled this. All right, hold on, let me get this off the shelves because the book is too pretty not to show off. Here we have yet again the broken binding version of a book. This is the first book, The Blade Itself, in the First Law trilogy. And I was just talking about this with Steve over on his channel, and I think Epic and Jolene as well. We were just talking about the fact that I hadn't read this yet. And I've read a lot of grimdark, read a lot of dark fantasy, and this is kind of a quintessential series in that genre, and I haven't read it yet. So this is the world telling me. Oh my god, I'm so excited to get to this. Plus, this is the edition I have to read from with the sprayed edges. And that foiling, oh my goodness. So I will not be taking this with me when I leave the house just because it's a beautiful edition and I want absolutely no harm to come to it. But I am excited to read from this edition at home, so yes, I will finally get to read this. The TBR gods have truly blessed me, truly, this month. So this seems to be a very physical month for me. We've got a lot of physical books on the TBR, plus the SPFBO books, which are on my Kindle. So yeah, I'm gonna have to utilize audiobooks in between because this is a lot in a month that I'm supposed to be prioritizing studying. But either way, this is a fantastic group of books. Like, I'm excited for every single one, so this is a great TBR. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these. What are your thoughts on them? I would love to chat in the comments down below, as always. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that bell. I'd love to have you as part of this community, and I appreciate it. But for now, I'm gonna head out. Jenny!